came out from somebody's brain, right? But you may not be the only person in the world who has that same idea. Somebody else might have it. So let me say I want to sell fried chicken. What do you all think I should start to do before I go out and say, boy, my fried chicken is the best? I have to go and find out, but who else selling fried chicken, boy? Let me go and taste their fried chicken, compare it to my fried chicken, and see who won't taste it better. And if I know them won't taste it better than mine, I might need to fix up my recipe. But not only that, I have to go and see where I go in and sell my fried chicken, who else selling in this area, and how much they're selling that fried chicken for. Because if I want to sell one piece of fried chicken for $20, but the man next to me selling his own for $10 and his own tasting better than mine, my business boss, before it even starts. So that is one aspect that you need to consider. It's called a competitor analysis. So what we do, we go around with our product, we find everyone who sells our same product or a similar product, we compare our prices and we compare our systems in terms of what they're doing that we could improve on. Because every business that you all could think of has a way to do it better. Every single business in the world has a way that it could be done better. So if you are selling a competitive product like that, you just need to find a way that it could be done better. Or you just give me the cue when Tobago ready, right? All right, so we have somebody on this side.
An item that would be needed for your business plan would be your main products.
Your main products. So you list out all your, well done. So I would take, okay, give me. Right. Your main products, knowing what product to sell. I heard somebody on this side. What else are you saying? A budget is probably one of the most important things to have in a business plan. Because you are selling a product or a service that it is going to cost you money to start. You also have to consider what are the other aspects of this business that are going to need money. You need to find out, if I am selling a product for $20, how much is it costing me to make this product? And if I'm selling it for $20, how much of that is profit? So if I'm selling it for $20 and it costing me $15 to make, how much is my profit? $5. So I need to know how many of those items I need to sell every month to cover my overhead costs. So for those of you going to start businesses that need a physical location, you may have to pay rent if you're not starting it out of mommy and daddy's house, right? So you have to make sure you can cover your rent, cover your employees' salaries. You have to put a marketing budget because you have to pay for some Facebook boosts, some Instagram boosts. You might have to pay a graphic artist to develop the artwork for you. You might have to pay a newspaper if you want to put an ad in the paper. You might have to put an ad on Boom Champion, so you might have to pay room to come and talk about your product for you. So you had to put all of these things in what we call a budget. Somebody else had one here on this side?
We had
right. You have one? You ready? All right. Oh, so after him, we will go by him.
I was going to say that you also need to have your mission, vision, and values.
All right, your mission, vision, and your value statement. So a mission statement tells you what your business is about and what your business believes in and what is the mission of the business. Your vision statement will tell you where you want to be as a business. Go ahead.
That was kind of my answer.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I have another one, capital. Where you getting the capital?
Where you getting your capital from to start the business? That's why we're here at NEDCO. So NEDCO has loans that they would offer us in terms of financing once you qualify for it. Go ahead.
One other thing you have to look into is that you could check on your projections for whatever product you want to produce to put out into the market.
Projections in terms of what? Give me a little idea.
Well, crops are like if you have a planting, every season the prices does be up at a certain price. Now, so if you're planting around in that time, and you could average how much you will be making, what profit margin.
Ah, I like that. Projections. So that ties back into your budget and into your financing. Because you can't say you want to just sell sugar cake and you're going and see how this thing go. You had to have a goal, you had to have objectives, you had to have milestones and see where you're going and craft a plan. How much money I think I'm going to make from this sugar cake business? And you have to make projections, as he is saying. It's just estimations of how much you think this business could make. Yeah? They ready? Tobago is ready. All right, great. So we have Tobago with us. And we have with us Mr. Joseph Morrison, Business Manager, Tobago Office, NEDCO, and Ms. Alana Allen, Certified Financial Education Instructor. So I want to welcome you. You all make some noise to them. You all see them on the screen, right? All right, technology at its finest. So in this panel discussion, I'm going to join them, and we are going to discuss emerging opportunities for youth entrepreneurs. So I'm going to pitch you first one to Mr. Joseph. Tell us, on the topic itself, what do you think are some of the emerging opportunities for some of the young entrepreneurs in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, in Tobago, we have some specific opportunities, and of course, in Trinidad and Tobago as a whole, products and services can be exchanged, through the Trinidad Republic. So, it's a very exciting time post-COVID, where persons can look in the direction of their skills that they've probably been developing, whether it be in the technical area, the technical field. We have persons learning about computer repair, getting into web page design, graphic arts and design. We have persons in agro processing, right? There are a lot of emerging opportunities there in terms of taking our local fruits and ground provisions and a lot of the locally produced agricultural elements, right? And we take them and we process them, and they can end up on the supermarket shelves of the groceries and the supermarket shelves, and the groceries in Trinidad and Tobago. So agro processing is a key area. We have several skill areas, even some of the non-traditional areas that we want to now focus on, like the arts and culture. Because of the online presence, we can develop things like animations, we could develop dance, we could develop drama, and market or monetize those skill elements. So we're talking goods and services, in tourism, in film, agro processing, you name it. There are several emerging opportunities post-COVID for today's youth throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Yep. And this one is for Ms. Allen. So we want to bring her into the conversation to join us. What advice would you give to someone who is trying to become an entrepreneur?
Wow, that's a good question. One advice I would give someone who wants to get into entrepreneurship is to start doing that research. One, we're going to look at doing the research that is needed, okay? So a lot of times you get up and you get this bright idea, but a lot of times it's not a feasible idea. So we want to look at the feasibility of it, but I think even before that, we need to speak to attitude and mindset. Very important. I would have worked with a lot of entrepreneurs, and even though there's an entrepreneur in everyone, not everyone is built to be an entrepreneur, right? So you want to work on your resilience, right? You want to work on being creative and innovative, being a problem solver. One of the key things in terms of getting into entrepreneurship is, okay, what are the pain points of my customers? What problem can I solve? You would have had Stephanie Pemberton here earlier who spoke about gaps in the market. Very important. So you need to now think about what product or service can I offer, but think about it from the standpoint of how can I create value to the persons that I want to serve. So doing that research and knowing exactly where is a good way to enter the market with the right product or service, I think is a good place to start, along with having the right attitude and mindset. You yourself would have spoken about being a business owner and your journey to entrepreneurship. And it's not hard, it's not an easy road, right? So you have to prepare yourself for that. And what will help as well is speaking to persons who are already in business and getting advice and ideas from them in terms of getting started.
All right, so on that, I know that you're a certified financial education instructor. And a lot of people who are budding entrepreneurs or now deciding to start their own business may not have a great financial background or accounting background. So what financial tips would you have for a new entrepreneur who's coming out into the market?
Okay, so some tips right off the start, right off the bat. You want to get your business registered, right? That's the first thing. A lot of persons they go into operating a business and they haven't gone through the process of actually formally registering your business and everything that comes with that. For persons who are entrepreneurs right now or want to get into entrepreneurship, accountability is very important. So your bills, your receipts, being able to keep track of your finances and your expenses, being able to see where you're at any given moment, doing simple things as working out your profitability. Because one misconception that people get um, confused with all the time is sales and profits, guys. Your sales is not your profits, right? And one of the young ladies who sat earlier, I think, who was talking about the saltfish pizza, I think she would have mentioned that in terms of knowing what your expenses are, because you could make $1 million in sales, but if it is that I'm spending $999,000, then essentially I'm not doing anything much in terms of generating a profit for myself. So you don't have to be an accountant or a stellar accountant, right? We have simple tools and technology you could use like QuickBooks, you could use a simple Excel sheet, or you know what? Pen and paper, even though it's cumbersome, it never fails, right? But you want to keep track of your expenses, right? Your business expenses, your bills and receipts, and be able to measure, am I really making money or am I not? And when you look at that, it helps to inform the decisions that you make within your business. For instance, do I need to raise my selling price? Do I need to ramp up my marketing ventures? Do I need to not make this product anymore because I'm operating at a loss? It helps to, the money or the figures will help to inform the decisions that you make with your business.
In terms of bookkeeping for a new business owner, I know that some people may not have an accountant attached to them, and you mentioned things like pen and paper. Is it something that they should be keeping a track of in terms of their sales every day, the quantity of goods they buy, those costs? What tips you have for them in terms of bookkeeping for a new business owner?
All right, so we're in a digital age right now. We're in a digital age, and we want for persons who are within this room, you're the new generation. You want to leverage technology to assist you, right? Having a business banking account is crucial, crucial. So you don't want to mix your business finances with your personal finances. And once you have that separation, we could use internet, mobile technology, mobile banking, and all of those things to help keep track of your expenses using checkbooks. From a personal level, checkbooks are quite outdated, but a lot of business owners still use checks as a means of record keeping and keeping track of what goes out and what comes in. I will definitely say every day you keep track of what comes in and what comes out. And like I said, using the technology to assist with that, using QuickBooks, using we Wave and these type of invoicing solutions will actually help you in that regard. So if you send out digital receipts and digital invoices, there's a paper trail. You pull up a form or you click an app and boom, it's right in front of you. So it may seem tedious doing it every day, but here I'm going to say just research what apps, what what platforms we have available to assist you with that. And if you attach mobile banking, you have internet banking and those sort of things, it's easy for you at a moment's notice on the go to have a good idea of what is going on with your business.
I like that you said, and I hope that people took note of that. A couple of things. One was the don't mix your personal finances with your business finances. So one of the first things that Ms. Allen would have mentioned was opening a business account with the bank. So therefore, you're separating that, because one of the problems that you're going to face as an entrepreneur, if you are mixing your personal and your business finances, sometimes you wouldn't even realize that your business busting, because your personal finances is what keeping the business afloat. So you look as though you have money in the bank, but you're realizing that the money that you have in that account is really your money, your personal money, and the business itself may be suffering. So that's something to take note of in terms of separating the two. But also something that she mentioned is super important is keeping track of what goes in and what comes out, meaning whatever products you buy every day, you have to keep track of that to make sure that whatever it's costing you to make your products, you know how much it's costing you. So how much you're selling it for, you will make sure you know. Remember I was telling you all that in terms of the business plan. Knowing what's coming in and coming out of the business. Also, something that you mentioned, Ms. Allen, that was key was some of the software. We are in a technology age. There's a software that I use all the time that I always recommend because it's very simple and easy to use, was QuickBooks. You heard I mention it. You don't even have to download the software. You go on the website, QuickBooks Online. Yeah, QuickBooks. You don't really need to know much about accounting. It does all of the accounting for you. So you just have to put in into the software your costs in terms of your expenses, your profits, your revenue, in terms of how much you would have sold as your service or your product, and then QuickBooks would generate for you a profit and loss statement, your balance sheet, all of those things. So it's a great tool and it's inexpensive. There are also free apps like that online that you could check out. So just Google accounting software online and you could do it. So very, very key points there, Ms. Allen. Thank you for that. Mr. Morrison, I'm bringing you back in the mix here with NEDCO because somebody mentioned earlier, they were asking a question and it came from Tobago self. In terms of what support does NEDCO give to entrepreneurs when they give them a loan? Is it that they just give them the loan and they leave them there to see if this thing go afloat, or what comes with the support systems for the entrepreneurs from NEDCO?
Okay, so I even wanted to talk a little bit about the opening of the account, but let me start with the loan. So at NEDCO, before you even start the commitment, because a loan is a commitment to repay a fixed amount, right, over a fixed period of time. And you need to know if your business is viable and feasible in terms of its operation, that it's feasible to pay back this fixed amount over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, up to 6 years, as the case may be, right? And therefore, some of the things that we mentioned, like the competitor analysis, the budget, the checking out your product to see if the quality will be sufficient, right, to compete with the persons right in your market space, right? We look at all these things not just as a means to an end, but we look at them in the context of the sustainability of the business over the long term. And therefore, it's important that before you take the loan, right, you have a good grasp of what those things entail. You want to know that you're comfortable, that you'll be comfortable in paying back the loan, so your budget will generate a surplus based on your operating expenses versus the sales, right? So during the process of the application, we go through that with our customers, right, to make sure they're comfortable. We visit the location. Sometimes we give a lot of pointers in terms of how you're going to set up the business, especially if it's retail. How you're going to set up the business, how you could generate efficiencies by doing things smarter, right, to cut your costs. And during the term of the loan, or when you actually get the loan approved, and we you disburse the funds, we check back with you to see, how things going and how, based on our plans that we have set before, you're able to continue building on the efficiencies of the business and building a strong customer base, right? Because many times customer relationship management is what really kicks in there. You know what you have for, and you want to develop a strong customer base. You want persons really coming to you and build a strong brand that people would know that you have this, you offer this service or you offer this product, and they are the ones who will be coming to you. Your target market will be growing, right? Because you now you have taken a loan for stock or for equipment, as the case may be, to generate a return on your investment, right? To generate. So the customer relationship management piece is really key. We look into that, and we assist as much as possible with the networking part of it. So we have mentorship and guidance available for persons who are in the business and trying to grow their business, so that they can network with persons who are already in that field to get tips and suggestions and ideas on how to grow their business and build their brand. Right, so NEDCO assists in those ways, and also in terms of workshops. We offer several workshops and webinars where some of the webinars are free. Well, the webinars are free and some of the workshops are free. But we have several workshops to sharpen you on the business side and to help you to develop your brand.
Because
More and more, right? So NEDCO does that after the loan process, during the loan process, before the loan process starts, the application, we have those services available. I want to talk a little bit about what Ms. Allen should have mentioned, the bank account, right?
Right, with the account, right.
Some people have, they turned off when they go to the bank and they ask them for certain documents. What does the bank really ask for? They ask for 2 forms of ID. They ask for address verification, so a utility bill, right? And they also ask, most importantly, for documents on your business. One of the documents they ask for that too, of a lot of people from my experience, would be the cash flow projection, because the bank wants to know how much money will be coming into this account, right? So they want to know if it's a cash intensive business or if it's just a regular account, but they need to know what the expected activity will be. And that turns off a lot of people because they now have to think about going to an accountant to generate a 3-year cash flow projection. But based on what Ms. Allen would have just said, it's really sound advice, because by just doing a little accounting every day, you put your figures together, you'll have an idea of the inflows and outflows of cash for your business, right? How much you generally make every day, every week on an average, and what your expenses are. And it's out of that now, we at NEDCO will guide you how to prepare a cash flow projection. So rather than spending thousands of dollars, right, which is a turn-off to a lot of people to a bank account, you can actually develop that. We can show you at NEDCO how to develop that cash flow projection very easily, right, using your daily records, or if it's that you know starting the business, based on the discussion we will have with you coming out of your business plan and your budgeting, it will be very easy to generate a cash flow projection and look at your seasonal. You have high season, you have low season, so you look at the months where you would make more as opposed to less, and you adjust accordingly. So it'll be very easy. Right, so those are some of the hurdles that we help you to jump across when you come to NEDCO, especially when it comes to opening an account or servicing your loan.
All right. So, guys, we want to thank you all very much for joining us, Mr. Morrison and Miss Allen, and very, very insightful information, especially along the lines of the financing and the budgeting aspect of things when it comes to your business, because that's something that a lot of people don't really take into consideration when they're starting off. They really just jump into a business and they sell and they see how it's going and they say, boy, things going nice. But then they run into difficulties later on. So we want to thank you all very much, especially for the advice of first registering your business, opening your business account, and to make sure you checked your balances in terms of what comes in and what leaves the business. And as well with NEDCO, we know that we could come to NEDCO in Tobago or in Trinidad to get some advice onto how to do this and how to structure your business when you're getting your financing. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, so now we're getting ready for our entertainment segment. And we have our guest artist who is ready. Oh, he's downstairs. Right, so we're going to move everyone downstairs. So we're inviting everyone to, I will be leading the way. Follow me as we head downstairs for our entertainment segment. And I want to thank you all very much for participating and asking all of the questions that you did. Very, very insightful presentations, and you all were very interactive. Yeah, so let's head downstairs.